Another good win for us. Young team trying to build confidence. Being down 2 starters, James and Damian. Obviously, Damian with the concussion tonight couldn't go. He got cleared, but for tomorrow, not for tonight. And James being out with ankle. But just glaring things to me, the things that we worked on every day is the things that I wanted to see if we could carry over, and we didn't. We were supposed to box out tonight. That was our focus, and we still gave up 23 offensive rebounds. And we had 19 turnovers. Our guards have to take care of the basketball. Those 2 things, I challenged the guards before the game to take care of the basketball and make winning plays on both ends, and then everybody box out. And it was just too many times that I saw myself that guys just weren't boxing out. And we knew they were a high rebound team, so it's about to get real now. If we don't listen and be able to carry over, then it's going to hurt us in the long run.
What was your message to them at halftime?
Well, obviously, we were trying to pressure more in the first half, and my message was still the same. Keep your man in front of you and pressure properly, and when the shot goes up, box out. So those are the things that we have to do.
You know, I was listening to Lester and Boogie, and they talked a whole lot about James Wiseman. And, you know, when you talk about 2 guys who mentioned somebody who wasn't playing tonight, seems like there's a lot of respect for the unicorn and him. How is it that you have so many stars who still look to him when he's not even on the court?
Well, I mean, obviously he's, the number 1 player in the country coming into this season, and he's very dominant. And, James is James. We hadn't played a game yet, so we really don't know where he is shape-wise or how he's going to affect the game. But he gets their respect because they've seen what he's done before he got injured in practice every day, protecting the rim, running the floor, and finishing fast breaks. Of course, he makes their jobs a lot easier by being on the floor. He makes my job a lot easier being on the floor, of course. But the rest of the gang still, if he gets into foul trouble, if he has an injury or something where he can't play, these guys, everybody still has to do it by committee, what he brings to the table.
Coach, with the preseason pretty much being over, all the preseason games done, is this where you were expecting the team to be at, especially after these 2 exhibition games?
I wasn't expecting for us to be here because I really felt like we could kind of – the boxing out is something that I'm really, frustrated with. I understand 19 turnovers with a young team because it's going to be wild. And we tried not to run any plays the first couple games. We tried to let them just go to mismatches and run ball screens in the half court. They chose who to go to and all of those things to try to give them an opportunity to kind of the point guards and the guards to run the show. And I know about the 19 turnovers, but we are adamant, and we talk about it every single day about boxing out. We watch film every day on it. We film our practices, and we watch ourselves in practice not boxing out. And we talk about it, and we switch ends and have the bigs on one end, the guards on the other end, and we talk about nothing but boxing out, and then to come to the game and not box out, that's disheartening. So that lets me know that their focus isn't on what we're working on.
Coach, and what impressed you most tonight about Lemoyne Owens? And I know you talked about boxing out, but was there anything else that they highlighted that your team needs to work on?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Lemoyne is a very athletic team. This is probably their best team in a long time. Got some really good players on the team, and they're athletic and they're fast, and they're a great offensive rebounding team. And we gave the challenge to our guys before the game to say, hey, we gave up 15 offensive rebounds to Christian Brothers. This is a team that goes to the glass way more active, and we have to take the challenge. So they challenged us one-on-one because, they got in the paint whenever they wanted to. And then when they shot the ball, they crashed the glass like they usually or like they have done, and we weren't able to take the challenge on either.
Penny, we saw James going through a workout before the game. Do you feel better about where he's at than Thursday today, and do you expect him to be ready for the season opener next week?
Yeah, I just hope he is. I'm not in his body. To see him out on the court was a great sight, and we'll just have to go with what he and the doctor says.
Hey, Coach, what positive did you take from the game other than Boogie's shooting?
Man, I try not to be so negative, but we have to get to where we're, hitting on all cylinders and certain things. It's not to take anything away. Maybe it was Lemoyne in the way that they played us. The offensive rebound, we had 18 offensive rebounds. That's a positive that I can take from that. Just didn't have enough defensive rebounds. So I can take the positive is the offensive rebounding.
Coach, I got Two questions. First one, who's leading your hustle board right now in practices?
We haven't even talked about the hustle board actually, this early. We're probably going to put that into play when the regular season starts. But if I had to guess, it would be Lester. It would be Precious because of the way that they're rebounding, the way that Precious is scoring. So maybe Precious is leading right now because of blocks, points, and rebounds.
Okay. Second question. Did you say anything in particular to Jaden during, I think it was the first half? I saw him take a shot, and you didn't look happy about it. And then, after the break, he was more aggressive, driving to the basket and hustling a little bit more.
I just think he's too careful when he comes out. And then when he gets too careful, things don't happen well. He has to come out aggressive. And I just try to keep him in an aggressive mindset. He got better later as the game went on, and everybody's not going to start the game properly offensively. He still didn't get beat off the dribble much, maybe one time. He's going to go rebound. He's going to try to block shots. He does a good job of kind of keeping this man out of the paint. The things he doesn't do well is getting back in there and rebounding. So I'm just telling him to stay aggressive, go back in there and box out and rebound.
Coach, in the first exhibition game, you obviously talked about starting 5 freshmen and the struggles of nervous energy that they had. Mm-hmm. You put Alo in the starting 5 this week. Is that something you see doing maybe going forward? And also, how did you think it helped tonight?
Well, obviously, we need Alex to be a leader. He's been in my system for a very long time, and I haven't changed much. And it's a lot on his shoulders, especially with a lot of young guys on the team because he played in all the games last year, he and Tyler. So they're going to have to handle the ball a majority of the game, and having him in there today as a veteran, he was plus 20 on the plus and minus, but to me, he just still has to get better with understanding what we're trying to do with this group. Last year, he found his niche. This year, he hadn't found it yet, so hopefully he'll find it sooner than later.
Coach, last year you implemented a new system. You had a lot of seniors, and then this year you're doing the same with a lot of freshmen. Mm-hmm. Is it more challenging with a lot of freshmen, or is it just challenging in the first year in general?
I think it's challenging in the first year in general, but it is challenging with the freshmen because they're coming from different walks of life. They haven't been taught any of this that we're working on right now. So they're literally learning on the fly. And then you add Lance Thomas to that because he didn't play last year. He's not as in tuned with what was going on because a lot of the plays we didn't have him in because he wasn't playing in the game. And then Jaden and Ryan being redshirt freshmen, that redshirted last year and coming into this year, so they weren't as in tune as well. So it's really a new system, new team, and they just have to gel together on doing the small things. They have to do the small things, the 50-50 balls, taking charges, boxing out all the small things until we get everything else rolling.
Hey, Coach, Precious, he had a bad first half last game, but had a great second half. How do you evaluate his play the second half of last week and these two halves?
Obviously, he wants to go one-on-one. When he starts to feel like we're not getting a rhythm, he wants to go one-on-one, and he has to stray away from that. He has to, to continue to play his role, continue to let the game come to him, and not try to stress. And I think he did that in both first halves. And then in the second half, he calmed down and ended up getting the points that he deserved because he played the game the right way, and he'll get used to understanding how to play the game, especially at the 5. He's out of position right now, so it's probably like challenging him more than what he thought, playing at the 5 position where he has to sprint down, then sprint back out and set screens and then roll again. It's taking a lot of energy out of him doing that, and that's just what he has to do right now.
You mentioned Lance. Are you getting exactly what you expected to get from him this year so far?
Well, yeah, Lance is actually rim protecting. He's a guy that's blocking shots every game is what we need. He had 3 more tonight. I think he had 4 in the first game, so that's 7 blocks in 2 games. We need that for sure. Boxing out and rebounding is something that he's going to have to do. It's a physical game down there in the post, and he's going to have to do that, and then he's going to have to stretch the floor. He didn't get many threes. I don't even know if he got 1 3 tonight. We're going to have to get him more in the offense, getting threes up because he is a stretch 4 for us, stretch 5.
Coach, based on now that you're through the preseason, this next week, how do you see it playing out? Like, are there any changes to the approach, anything that you're going to do differently, or is it just going to be more of consistent?
I think obviously I have to make some changes because these two games were definitely an eye-opener for us, and I had to calm us down both games. We were just letting them play, and I had to calm us down both games. So we'll kind of implement some different things in so it's not as much stress on the guards and on the young players, and make it run more, run better And then defensively, we're going to change some things up as well. I mean, we've been working really hard on the defensive end, and it hadn't transferred over. So obviously, we have to make another adjustment, and hopefully, this next adjustment will help the young players out. Thank you.